Hi, I'm Tom Shue, and today we're going to talk about filters. There's lots of different types of filters. There's the round ones that screw on the front of your lens, and they offer quite a bit of flexibility. However, when you get serious about your photography, you're going to want to go with a foundation system. You know, this is a small version of it. They're made by lots of companies. Koken and Lee, they make them. However, the brand that I like to use is made by Hi-Tech. Okay, Hi-Tech is out of the UK, and I like their 100mm system. You can use it with or without a foundation. A foundation works great if you need to stack them, because you see inside this lens hood, it offers the ability to stack multiple. There's like channels, and they make a foundation that screws on the front of your lens, and then you use step up and step down rings to fit your different lenses, so you don't have to buy a bunch of different foundations. Okay. So the way this works is they've got, with their 100mm system, they've got square systems that are like, this is a standard ND. What this filter does is it's like 6/10 of a stop. It's a little over a half a stop. And what it is, it's basically sunglasses for your lens. For example, I've got this sun beating down on me, and if I wanted to control that and still keep my background exposure right, okay, I would use this. Say if I wanted to use flash, and I wanted to go out in the middle of the day, my sync speed is only 125th, or actually it's 250th on some cameras, 200 on a lot, and that's it. Well, if that shutter speed isn't fast enough to knock down the ambient light, you're stuck with high-speed sync, or the good old-fashioned way, which all video people use, which are ND filters. These neutral density filters, they don't affect the color, they just knock down the amount of light coming in. These things are really great because you can do a lot of things with them. For example, this one here is a 1/6 of a stop ND graduated, okay? And what I mean by graduated means it goes from the full 6/10 of a stop down to nothing, okay? It's clear at the bottom. However, this is like an abrupt stop in the filter, okay? From here to here is 6/10 of a stop. If you want to stack these filters, you can, if you need to build up an effect, but there's these really cool ones that they make that are called blending filters. They're completely graduated. This filter is clear at the bottom, and it's 6/10 of a stop at the bottom, at the top, I should say, or if you flip it around, it's the bottom. So the idea is that you can stack these to get full control. So it means I could put these two in the foundation, and I get a really dark spot at the top, and then maybe that's my horizon, and I let it taper off to the bottom. Maybe I'm shooting a vertical instead of a landscape shot. Okay, these filters are made by, again, Hi-Tech. They're out of the UK, and they're a great option. One of the coolest filters that they make is their Pro 10 stop filter. Lee makes one called the Big Stopper. However, this one here is 10 stops. It's got a foam insert on the back, and that lays against the foundation so there's no light leaks at all. And say, for example, you wanted to shoot a lake. You know how the wind ripples the water? Have you seen those images where the lake is completely looking like glass? Well, that's a really long exposure. To do long exposures, you need to be able to knock down the light, okay? Because the longer your shutter speed, the more light comes in. Well, if you knock it out by 10 stops, the shutter can stay open for a really long time, and not a lot of light comes in. It builds up, and that water just looks like glass when you're done with it. This is a really cool feature, really cool filter to own, is the 10 stop. It comes with a little scale, and it tells you that a regular shutter speed of 1,000th of a second would be turned into 1 second. So if you're doing a 2-second shutter speed, it would equal 32 minutes, okay? A normal 2-second shutter speed would be equal to, with this Pro 10 stop, 32 minutes. A 32-minute long exposure. Think about that. You could do some crazy star trails for 32 minutes. Now, your camera only goes to 30 seconds on the shutter speed, but you can go into bulb mode and tape that button down if you have a release. If you don't have a interlevometer, okay, what that does, it just changes the interval at which the shutter opens and closes, and it controls the shutter speed as well. So you can buy one of those timers for your camera, but a piece of tape and a release in bulb mode will do the same thing, along with a stopwatch. So this is the Hi-Tech 100mm system. They come in a soft edge filter. They come in 0.3 stops. They come in 0.6. They come in full stops, half stops, whatever you need to build your system out. You might want to take a look at high-tech filters. They're great. So I'm going to take a couple pictures and show you what these things can do. Okay, here we are. We are on the desert and it's a little bit windy. Sorry if there's any wind noise. And you can see right here that the exposure on the ground is okay, but the sky is a little bit bright. The sun is just dropping behind the clouds. So what we want to do is we want to put our ND filter on, and this is what happens when you do. Okay, you ready? Here we go. This is the filter's on there. You can't see anything. And then as we start to bring down the graduated part of the filter, you see that we can control what it looks like. Okay, now this is a hard edge transfer. Let me grab one that is kind of a soft edge. Okay, the blender. Okay, this is what a blending filter does. Okay, so now, whoa, sorry, my finger's in there. Let me get this right here. So you can use these with or without a foundation. So there we are, and as we drop the blender in, it starts to control the scene. So let's bump the exposure up a little bit here. I'm going to open the aperture and increase our ambient light because we've lost some sun, and then I'll put the blender on in front of it. Okay, and now we can drop the sky down to the way we want, or we could use that hard edge and just drop it right to the horizon. Okay, so there's the filter. It's in place. So is my finger, and we'll just bring it down to the horizon and stop. So now see how this controls the ambient, but it doesn't change the color. The color is changing as things darken. Saturation increases, so that's why the blue looks darker. However, it doesn't. See, if we can just do the whole scene, we can take it off, and then we can stack a blender. For example, if that edge transfers too much, so what we can do is we'll put a blending filter stacked on with the hard edge. So here we are, there's the blender coming into play and the hard edge stack right there. So now actually we can control that by either making it more gradual or less gradual by stacking the two filters. You see? That's two stacked. Let me set it up one more way like this. So here we are, the filter's in place, and we'll bring it down, and these are stacked filters. So there you have it. You can kind of see what kind of things you can have full control when you're dealing with these filters. All right, thank you for taking time to visit my blog today, and until next time, we'll see you soon.